All right, we're just going to go for it. What is going on today? We are looking at YouTube channels. I'm not supposed to start for another minute or so, but I'm just sitting here. So I'm like, hey, let's just go ahead and get this party started. This might give us time to get in another channel at the end or something like that. So let's just go ahead and get this thing rolling. So really quick, just want to give a shout out, RM Feminine for the win. What's going on? Hope you are doing great. Carrie Edition. Hope that you're doing awesome. Anthony Goodley, nice to see you in here. All nice. Got a shout out from David Foster. Love it. Yeah, David's actually on his way over here right now. Us Plus Dad, what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing great. Croatian Wolf, nice to see you. Build and Fix with Mooney. What is up? Davidson's All Naturals Gym, exceptional indie games, Dusty Fingers RC. What is going on? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. So what goes down here during these live streams is we basically look at YouTube channels and we give tips for things that you can do better. So as a part of this, I have some of this to where we kind of, hey, what's up, Jerry? To where, we kind of gamify it a little bit by having a sudden death competition. And basically what that is before we can actually look at the channel to, give you tips on everything else, we got to make sure at least the best practices are sorted, right? So because of that particular part, we just go and we have a checklist, and then whatever item that you don't hit on that checklist or that you don't have tidied up, then we go ahead and we, cancel out the review from there, and then that next thing that you need to work on, okay? So that's how this all goes down in terms of the channel reviews. This is 100% free. I do this to, let everybody know, what they need to do when it comes to YouTube. And right now, my wife is actually visiting her family. So because of that, I'm like, hey, I got some extra time tonight. So, let's go ahead and put in, a little bit of time here as well, just looking at people's YouTube channels and all of that stuff. So here we go. So in order to participate, like I said, it's 100% free. How it works, if this is your first time here, is I'm going to add a word to, which we already see here is new creator, but I'm going to add a word right here to this giveaway tool. And then once I hit start collecting comments, then what's going to happen is it's going to look through the comments for that particular word. And then once it detects that, people are saying that word, then we pull somebody up just randomly based on them putting that word in. So let's go ahead and do this now. And we are going to go ahead and put in new creator. Doug Houston in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Fitness and with Barbara. Hope that you are doing awesome. Hey, Doug, man, because you have back-end access to my channel right now. I think I'm getting botted right now. So, well, maybe not botted. I've actually gotten some weird things happening. So it's external traffic. It's coming from Google, but I'm also getting some weird direct and unknown traffic as well on the live stream that we did on Saturday. Right now it's at 26, almost 27,000 views on that. And normally we push around, a good stream will have, 5,000, and then normal is, around 3 to 4. So yeah, it's just interesting watching that happen. It's not botted. I don't think that's what it is. I think there's just something weird going on with Google, because all that traffic that's coming in, nobody's commenting or anything. And if you look in the stats, people are sticking around for a little bit, which makes me think that it might be bot, generated in some way that's finding me, that way through Google, so that it can, go after me, but not as clearly, so to speak. So we're gonna go ahead and draw, and we're gonna get this first one here on the road. Let's see what we got. Morales Outdoors. All right, that's the first one. Morales Outdoors. Nice work here on that. And I'm just looking for you in the chat here so we can kind of see what is going on here. Morales Outdoors found you. Okay. And I hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so let's make sure that we have muted audio. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to look at your channel, give you some tips, and then for this particular one, because we're just getting started, so I'm going to go through and I'm just going to, look for some, things that just kind of stand out to me from my 10 years on YouTube, build my own channels, also, working with other creators, all that stuff. I basically just look around for the best practice stuff, right? Because, there's a lot of different things that you can do when it comes to your YouTube channel, but the very first thing you got to do is get the, the basic stuff, lined out well, so that you can consistently do it and consistently get, results that you're happy with, and, that kind of stuff. So right out of the gate, we do see that you are making outdoor content. It's part of your name. You've got all these outdoor, shots, right here, as well. And if I look at your actual channel, I'm not a fan of them YouTube suggesting the for you here, putting shorts in there, by the way. Not a fan of that at all. That's nothing against you. I'm just saying, seeing that pop up more, and I'm just not a huge fan of it. Okay, shorts up here at the top and videos. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to recommend to you is when it comes to just the structure of this here, I would get your videos, this playlist. I would move this up here right underneath the for you. The reason for that is if somebody is watching, we'll just do it right now. I'll show you. So if somebody's watching one of your shorts and they click on your channel name, what happens is YouTube takes me to a page of your shorts. Okay. Now, if somebody's watching one of your videos and they click on your channel name here, then YouTube is going to take us to your main channel page here for more long form content. So the first reason that you want to move this playlist up here to the top is for the people to go to your channel page. You want to move it up here for them so that those people can quickly find more of your long form video content, because that is, what they're looking for. In addition to that, as people are coming into your main channel page, as they start to scroll down, when they hit those videos first, it gives you the opportunity to capture their attention into these. And every viewer that interacts with this content tells YouTube if that, is it good? Is it bad? What type of viewers like this? What type of viewers don't like this, and all that. So you want to get as many viewers into each one of these as possible. And when you run the risk of distracting them by sending them into shorts, you're kind of working against yourself here on this page, right? So because of that, I would take shorts off completely. But if you want to leave them on there, then I would just at least move them down here and then move the videos up here to the top. But that is just a kind of like a little housekeeping thing. I also don't see a traveler angler fishing full-time coming to your town soon. Playlist, thank you for subscribing. Okay. So one thing that I am missing here also from your channel, Shawnee, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Anfield, what's up? But another thing that homekeeping channel, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Another thing that seems to be missing here is I know you're doing outdoor content, and it looks like you are a traveling angler, full-time fisher maybe, but I don't have a clear understanding of what I get, right? Like as the viewer, like what do I get when I land on your channel and I'm looking at your content? Like what's in it for me? Are you teaching me something? Are you just taking me along with you on your journeys? Like what exactly is it that you are offering me as a viewer? That's just not crystal clear here. So I would definitely, kind of work that out as well. Okay, now let's look for some obvious things here. Okay, so tournament, Boston, not like New Hampshire. Okay, so you're locking all of these down into individual areas. So that kind of matches what you said right up here about look for the playlist with that particular area. So a couple things that I think you're doing here, actually just one core thing that you're doing that I think is working against you is this location stamping here. And the reason for that is like if you make playlists and you're like, hey, these are the playlists, like you mentioned in your About Me page, if you're like, hey, these are the playlists that I have available now on the channel, then they can go and explore that if they're like, hey, I wonder if he's ever been to my area, right? However, how it currently stands, I think you're working against yourself by locking yourself into these locations, because like let's say, for example, that I'm just into, fishing or carp fishing, and I come and I'm land on your channel page. Maybe if I'm like a super curious person, I might click into one of these just to kind of see what fishing might be like in that area. But if this was more about, the fishing part of it without the location attached to it, I think you give yourself the opportunity to make who this content might be interesting to, that group of people, to make that larger. So when you do things like this, in some cases it's appropriate, and in some cases it works, especially if you have a big following already, and then you're like, popping in locations from time to time, like that kind of thing can be okay. But right now, while you're trying to, pick up momentum on the channel, the first thing that I would do is I would go through all of these and I would start rewriting your titles and trying to write them in a way that just opens it up a little bit more from the outside. Now, some things that you can do is, like when your videos start, you might mention that you're in these locations and things like that, which is fine. But some of this also needs to kind of bleed over into the content itself. So I'm not sure exactly what it is that you're, saying in the videos. Hold on, let me just look at your transcript real quick. I'm going to try to get it right in this corner of the deck, but next to those posts, there's right there. You see that, guys, right there. Okay, so a couple of things. First, meet them with an actual hook when the video starts. If that means you have to stand outside and record it, if that means that you need to, record it, while you're here on site fishing, start it with an actual hook and put something into it, right? In terms of, today we're fishing. You could even say in the video, not from the outside, but hey, we stopped by this fishing spot here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I mean, you don't even have to say that, but if you wanted to, we stopped by this fishing spot in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we're doing that because we heard they've got, the best fill in the blank for whatever fish it is here, or the biggest or the hardest to catch or whatever thing it is. So we're going to see how many we can get in the bucket or whatever. Let's go. Right. And then by doing that, what you do is you create some type of connection between your packaging, your thumbnail and title from the outside. You create that connection between that and then what happens to the viewer as soon as they go into your video in terms of what they see and or hear from you. Right. So because of that, just when it comes to setting up your videos, that like those two things, like widening out your packaging from the outside, and then in the future videos that you make, thinking about it through the lens of like, okay, I'm creating an experience for people, right? So since I'm creating this experience for people, when they first come into my video, like how can I meet them with that experience and how can I make it interesting for them, right? Because currently it's like, hey, I'm going to try to get to the corner of that deck, next to those posts where we go there, you can see that. The guy's right in the corner. You got like this whole thing going on, like they kind of came into the middle of the video, which in some cases that can be effective in like shorts and things like that. But for long form video content, it's best to have a clear beginning, middle, and end, right? And by setting it up like, hey, today we are, doing this, you don't even have to be on camera, but, setting it up by saying, this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to accomplish. And, come along for the journey to see how it goes. That's the thing. Same exact thing if you do any type of educational content in here, and I'm not sure if you do, but anything where you are like teaching people how to do anything, same thing there. As soon as it opens up, hey, today I'm going to show you how to do this. Or, you might have been fishing, wrong the whole time, or you might have been doing this particular aspect of fishing wrong the whole time. So today we're going to get you up to speed and show you how to do it to make sure that you're doing everything, the way that you should, right? That's the idea. So I would work on those two things right now on your channel. Some of them on like the older videos, there's nothing you're going to be able to do about the structure because they're already up there. But you can go in and you can be like, okay, would it make sense if I remove on these past videos that I have, would it make sense if I remove that location tag? Like when they click into the video with what it is that they're, hearing and seeing, does that make sense? Right. But yeah, I would definitely start doing that sort of thing. Like, when we talk about setting up channels and that kind of stuff during these review sessions, like those things are more kind of buttoning things up and making sure that, as your channel starts growing and you start getting more activity on the channel, they have everything buttoned up so that it's easy for people to find more content. It's easy to understand what you do, so that people will explore the channel more and know at a glance that's for them and that kind of stuff. But the things that we were just talking about on your channel specifically, like those types of things can make a big difference, when it comes to the content. So one thing that I recommend you do, and I recommend everybody do this when you get the chance. And when I make this recommendation, I'm not saying that you should copy what somebody else is doing per se, but I recommend that if you have a channel, like in your case, it's outdoors and fishing related content, go find a successful channel that's getting, a decent amount of views on the video, something that you'd be happy with, and go look and watch their videos. And literally, like if you have a laptop or a computer, pull them up side by side, or even an iPad, pull them up side by side in two different browser windows. Play the first 5 seconds of yours, then play the first 5 seconds of theirs, then play the next 5 seconds of yours or 10 seconds, and then do the same for theirs. And just start taking notes on like, oh, okay, it seems like they do this when they start the videos. Then after they get through this part, it seems they do this. And you'll start to notice a structure, in terms of, how they put the videos together that causes people to, one, know they're in the right place when they come into the video. Two, they're going to be hooked in some way in order to, make them want to continue watching the video. And then three, how they deliver the content itself. And then, of course, how they close the video down. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, so next up, if you are just joining us, what we're doing is we are looking at channels. So what we're going to do this time, because last time we did a lot of the best practice stuff. So what we're going to do this time is we're just going to alternate, kind of back and forth. So this one here, we are going to do this one as a best practice sudden death is what this one's going to be. So for this one, we are going to put... just for fun, because we just did a fishing channel, we're going to put fishing as the word, and you can just put fishing into the chat, and by doing that, you are agreeing to let me, pull up your channel and give you some tips. And really quick, Amin says, what about hook? Yeah, hook's absolutely important, and all those things that I was saying to him are part of that hook. And really quick, Ben Abay says, are video descriptions that important? So when it comes to YouTube, do everything, right? So a lot of times when people are not doing the video descriptions, it's because they just don't know what to write or they think that it's not important. But when it comes to long form content on YouTube, do it all. And the reason for that is because their system gets context, and viewers get context from your video descriptions as well. Like most of it comes from the title of the video and the video content itself. But the descriptions add just a little bit more information, and their systems do look at that. And when it comes to search, in terms of showing up in Google and sometimes YouTube, descriptions can help there as well in terms of helping their system more easily identify what it is that you're actually targeting as well. So yeah, they matter. All right, Stanley Orchard, what is up, my dude? Stanley's like, oh, the stream for me, talking about fishing. Yep. All right, here we go. Boom, build and fix with Mooney. Love it, my man. All right, here we go. We are going to look over here at your channel and see what you got going on. Okay. And hey, before we look at his channel really quick, I do want to let you know, just in case you haven't watched my content in about a week, I just recently put out a app. It is called New Creator, which is where the New Creator thing came from in the last thing. But it is an app for content creators. So if you want to plan your content, you want to test your thumbnails to make sure that they're effective, you want to easily store all of your video ideas, you want to basically have assistance with all the stuff that you do around YouTube, then make sure that you give it a shot. You can look for New Creator in the App Store, or you can scan that QR code right there and it'll take you there. But it has a free trial in there, so you can just try it, see if you like it. It's full featured when you're trying it out. I don't want anybody using it that, doesn't find value in it. So I built that trial in there so you can give it a shot and see if you, actually find use in it or not. So make sure that you do check that out. Where's my screen? Make sure that you do check that out. There we go. And see how it can help you. Okay. So for this one, I was just going to go through a best practice thing on this one, but I saw his thing in there before saying that he needed help. So because of that, let's just kind of take a look here and see what he's doing. I am going to look at some things here just because I'm curious in terms of, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Because I'm going to guess you probably get a decent amount of TV viewership. That's why I was looking at that. Okay. So really quick, man, first off for you, just a quick heads up here is if you look at your channel here, we have 8 months ago, right as we start scrolling down the channel page. Here we have 4 months ago, 9 months ago, 7 months ago, and 1 year ago, right down here. That's in the For You. And then here for your uploads, 7 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 9 months, 1 year, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 years. Okay. So we are halfway down the page and I haven't seen anything newer than 4 months. Hold on. So let's see what's going on here. So I'm not sure if you've switched over into shorts. So let's go find out. 2 days. Okay, man. So first off, get these into these playlists. So it looks like you were doing this before in terms of, adding them to this most recent playlist. Get back on that. And again, the whole reason of that is to make sure that you are able to capture people into those new videos that are already on your homepage, because those are the people that are going to be the most likely to enjoy them the most anyway. So you just want to make it easy for them to find that content. Because right now, if I watched one of your videos and let's say it was an older video and I come and I land on your page and I start scrolling down, if I hit your videos tab, it's different. But if I start scrolling down, I'm like, oh, okay, this dude doesn't even like upload anymore. Right. And then boom, out of there. Right. So because of that, I would definitely get that sorted ASAP. You say they're there, but I'm not seeing them. 7 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 1 year. Yeah, I'm not seeing them, man. Do you see them right here on my screen? So make sure these are sorted properly too. Yeah, so if they're in the playlist, make sure that you have this playlist sorted properly. So you can go into this playlist right here and you can sort it to make sure that the most recent uploads show up here. Okay. So yeah, you might have this manually sorted because he's saying right here, maybe I need to move them. Yeah. So you either have this manually sorted or it's just not sorted right. So yeah, I would definitely make this so it's showing your most recent video here. Let's see here. And Shawnee says, is there such a thing as a playlist being too big? Should we limit the number of videos in a playlist? It depends on what you're using them for. So when it comes to playlists, like for example, let's say that here in his community feed, right, that this post from 2 days ago, if he was like, hey, I'm going to make a playlist of, because, it's summer now. So we got people that are, out there, building lawn furniture and that kind of stuff, or it's getting ready to be summer. So because of that, I'm going to put together a playlist of videos that are lawn furniture builds that I've done on the channel that people have responded well to. And because these are like 10 minutes long, I don't expect somebody to sit there and watch 30 minutes of videos back to back or an hour of videos back to back. So let me just make sure that I put in just like 3 videos in that playlist. And then here I would say, hey, summertime's coming up. Here are my 3 videos of my 3 most popular videos about wood furniture, so that you can check those out, here. And then by doing that, you have purposely designed that playlist for the sake of sharing it in here. And you've made every video in there relevant to the people that you're sharing it for, right? And then other things that you can do with playlist is you can do this, where you do add them to your homepage like I was talking about. And this, you can just keep adding them. Right. There's no real rule there when it comes to that. So it just really comes down to how you're using the playlist is more important than the videos that you put into it. Because some people, they use their playlist, like they have some playlists that they use just to collect content essentially. So it's like, hey, these are all the videos that I like, so I'm just going to put them in these playlists so I can keep those as well. But you just think about the viewers that are interacting with them. But when it comes to this particular one, this is more about housekeeping and making sure that your most recent videos are showing up. And the reason that I recommend a custom playlist here is for somebody that does live streams and for somebody that does shorts. If they have just a recent uploads, then what can happen is some of that other content can show up in here, but that might not be the content that they want to feature as the most recent content. So that's kind of the play when it comes to that. Okay, so let's see here. Woodworking, DIY projects, home improvement, and more. Okay, so a couple things here. How to make cheap push sticks to keep you safe. Okay, so that's for the house. So I guess that's a woodworking project. Woodworking project, not a woodworking project. Wood flag, woodworking. How to make, okay, yeah, this is like all woodworking, okay. How to use a router safely, okay, yeah, that's good. Still the same crowd, but not necessarily a tip. Small wood shop, yep. 4 months ago, how to fold and unfold a bandsaw blade safely. Ooh, that's good. Yep, still reaching the same crowd. Yeah, so a few things here is it looks like you've taken a transition from tools into general woodworking stuff, like projects. So one thing that I'm seeing just right here, oh no, you did have a woodworking. Okay, yeah, you've had some woodworking videos pop too, so you're all right. Let's see here. Small shell collection, how to fold, unfold bandsaw safely. Excellent. I love here that you're targeting beginner people. How to fold and unfold a bandsaw safely. Heart's easier than it looks. But I'm my first American wood flag celebrating 50 years. Okay, so here's one thing, and this is just like a little nuance thing that I am just gonna highlight here. Hey, what's up, David? What's up, dude? I think aren't you supposed to be on an airplane right now? Or are you on your way? Hey, what's up, Brad? So one little thing here, and this is just like a little nuance thing, and sometimes it can be okay, but right here we have like building my first American flag, right? My first American wood flag. So this is cool. The concept is cool, but right here, this is more about like you and you building the flag instead of something like this on how to build this. This is more about me building my first flag instead of how you can build your first flag, right, from the outside. So like for this video, I would go in and I would swap that out like right when you can and make this more about the viewer like some of these other ones are. Things that make your job safer and easier. Okay. Cheap. Okay, so we have safety, we have cheap, we have more cheap up here. Yeah, so you're following like some of the best practice stuff in terms of like, hey, they responded to, you know, some cheap stuff here, so let's make some more cheap stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. So you're doing that sort of thing right. And I think a lot of your titles are also pretty good. Easy one-day bench build for beginner woodworkers. Yeah, like that's solid, I think. How to make cheap push sticks to keep you safe. Yeah. So one thing that that can also be helpful is in a situation like this. From looking at this, I'm coming to the conclusion that Square Up, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. I'm coming to the conclusion that this has something to do with those things. Maybe you put it like under the door so that if somebody tries to open the door, they can't. That's kind of the conclusion that I am coming to from what this offers. I think you could make this a little bit more clear if that's the case by having and just do an A/B test here, and you might already be doing this. Let me see. No, I think it's already passed if you did. All their woodworking push sticks. Okay. So yeah, one test that you might want to do here for this particular one is if a woodworker is seeing this, they might know unless they're a beginner woodworker. So yeah, you can tell I'm not a woodworker, right? Both of you guys, Davidson's, All Nationals, gyms, also like, nope, these are for a table saw. Yeah. So like in a situation like this, maybe a beginner woodworker, I don't know if they would know this or not, but just in case, maybe showing them like, you know, right there on the thing that like helps them prevent that thing. So it actually shows them more in action. So it's just a little bit more clear from the outside, but this might be okay. Like this might be one of the first things woodworkers know. I don't know, but I'm just saying in terms of just making that one a little bit more clear. And one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of when I was looking at these is that all of these have something to do with woodworking, except for this one. And I know when it comes to your value proposition, this is also home improvements and more. So it's woodworking, home improvements and more, but you're heavily weighted towards, you know, all things woodworking, it seems. So because of that, I would just be mindful, and you might've just been doing that. Like, hey, I have to change this out. So let me make the video, which is fine. But one thing that I would just be mindful of is if you're creating this pattern of people coming in for like these woodworking videos to where they can count on you to share like tools and things like that, and just techniques for woodworking, just continuing to give them that might be the win for you. And then out of that, one thing that you also might want to consider, because it's been like 3-4 months since you've done like a tool video. So when it comes to content strategy, like I'm not sure with some of these, if you're doing these, actually, I'll just look. Like if you're doing these as an affiliate. Okay, yeah, it looks like you are. Hold on really quick. Hey, also, man, as a heads up, you need to make sure that you are also adding if these are all affiliate links, which it looks like they are, make sure that you are adding the affiliate disclaimer in here. That's an FTC requirement. Yep. Home rapid repair knows. Yep. Absolutely. And it's not just where you have to say it with YouTube. The FTC has a requirement that you have to let people know that no. You're just making money with YouTube is what you meant. Okay. Yeah. You're not doing affiliate marketing, but you should be. But yeah, in terms of what you're putting out there, like I think that you're following best practices. So the next step would be, from here is to go into your audience retention reports of your videos and start like really trying to understand the structures that people respond to better than the other ones. Start really being mindful of like how you're talking to your viewers in the videos. Be really mindful about, okay, is there any parts of these videos that people typically skip, that kind of stuff. And by doing that, because your titles that you're writing are solid, your imagery is good. Like if I was grading this, I would give this, a pretty high grade, just based on the outside stuff, right? A couple things, like for example, like the plumbing video, it just kind of is out of place with all the woodworking that you've been focused on. But when it comes to content strategy, though, that I started to talk about before, one thing that I would be mindful of is if you are going to be a channel for DIYers and it looks like with a strong focus on woodworking, in that particular case, like mixing it up to where it's like, okay, you are kind of doing that because the woodworking jigs are also tools. So I guess that kind of works. Yeah, I was going to say like being like, okay, we're going to do a tool video. We're going to do a project video. We're going to do a tool video, a project video, or two projects and then a tool or two tools and a project, something like that, for the sake of just having some type of regular cadence with the different pillars of content that you're putting out. All right, let's do another one. Okay, I have a question. It said that if you post a video on your channel and ignore it for more than a year, then upload it again, your channel will not make any profit because a year will destroy it. No, that's okay. So here's the thing. First, you shouldn't be taking down videos and re-uploading them. But two, what happens is you've probably just lost monetization during that time if you haven't uploaded videos. Like if you're doing things to where like, hey, I'm just going to download a video and then re-upload it again, then you're probably not monetized anyway. Or if you get monetized, it might be just by a thread. And, because of that, that's probably where you've seen those types of reports. But in your case, your last upload was 2 days ago. So, I wouldn't worry about it too much. All right. So, here. So the next word that we are going to put up here is not even a word. We're just going to do DIY because of Build and Fix with Mooney is a DIY channel. Whoop, whoop. And as a quick reminder, if you are just joining the stream, I put out an app for YouTubers. You can find it at newcreator.app. It's an iOS app, has all kinds of helpful things for you in there. So far, I'm actually pretty happy with like the feedback that I'm getting and all of that. I did have one person give me a 1-star on Apple. It's really hard to get reviews, by the way. So if you are using it, go give me a rating over there. But I had one person give me 1 star, and because I don't have a lot of ratings, it like skewed my thing over there. But besides that, though, in terms of the feedback I'm getting, has been really good. So I'm glad people are enjoying it so far. I'm going to be pushing an update. If you are using it, I'm going to be pushing an update to it. Either I pushed one already, so the next one will be probably tomorrow night, actually, for that next one. Okay, so here we go. Waiting for 2 more just in case. I'm going to give it like a 10 countdown. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, jump to 51. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so we got Landier Jewelry. Hey, Jay Talks Crypto, go give me a rating over there, man. Would super appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so Landier Jewelry is our next one here. Let me see what you got here. Land our journey. I'm just kind of looking for you in the chat if you want to say something, and then that way I can find you a little bit easier. Where are you at, Land Our Journey? Am I going to have to like search YouTube for this one? No, it should be right around here. Yeah, this giveaway tool thing, I'm building my own so that I can just click on a name and go to the channel, because this kind of workflow here is a little bit this part right here is kind of like screech. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, I see you. Okay, here we go. Go to channel. Boom. Okay, and then the next one we do is going to be a best practice one. So this one is going to be, you know, a little bit longer unless we run into some glaring things. And then after that, we are going to do a best practice one. Where are we at? Where are we at? There we are. Okay. Okay, so here, Landier Jewelry Store. So that's about your store. This is jewelry, the owner of Landier Jewelry, if you love crystals and gem. Okay, so this is one of those ones to where, just really quick as a heads up. One thing that I would definitely do is just let people know the type of content you have. This is clearly for your business, but, you know, Landier Jewelry Store, and then say what it is that you do. I don't know if you I don't know yet if you're showing how you make your jewelry, teaching people how to make jewelry. I don't know if you are sharing behind the scenes of your stores. I don't know what it is that you're doing. So because of that, adding those types of things can be helpful for people as they're interacting with your channel. There's the owner of your store. If you love crystals and jewelry, your online store is a beautiful collection. Watch for monthly videos. Okay, cool. So you have an online jewelry store. Love it. Okay, so really quick. Okay, so you have this. That's on Etsy, newsletter. Okay, for you, in your case specifically, and I know that you are kind of just getting started here. So I would not pollute your links right now with this subscribe button. Like, this isn't going to be like a huge deal, because the one that matters is really focused right here. But since you are doing this for your business, though, I would just lose this entirely, because like on your channel, it's not as important for people to subscribe. I mean, yeah, you want subscribers, but the way that YouTube works these days is if you make a good video and people watch that video and they enjoy it, then YouTube will detect that and they'll recommend your videos to them until they stop enjoying them. So because of that, you want to, yeah, like I would just take this off, because it's kind of a distraction. Because here you bring attention to your jewelry store. Here you are getting people on your email list, and I'm guessing you have some type of, you know, follow-up automation or something that ends up, you know, also bringing more attention to your jewelry store. So I would just focus it on those things and not on the subscriber link. Glad that you have your most recent videos up here. You definitely want to make sure that you are uploading to YouTube on a consistent basis. It doesn't have to be, you know, every week or anything like that. But just one thing to keep in mind is if you do have competitors out there that are doing similar things to you, if you are uploading, you know, once or twice a month and they are uploading once a week, then the likelihood of them outpacing you is probably going to be much higher, as long as they're paying attention to what they're doing. Because, you know, the more you publish, the more information you get back about how people are responding to your videos, right? But you know, the 2 last month is fine. It looks like you did like 4, you know, the month before that. So I would just try to, and I know you're busy, you know, you're trying to run your business and everything. But I would definitely try to find a way, just like when it comes to like working on your products, right? How you have that dedicated time to where it's like, hey, from this time to this time, this many days a week, I go and I, you know, work on my, you know, products so that I can, you know, have a full store. On YouTube, look at it the same way, and look at it like, okay, for every one of these videos that I make, if I can learn how to, you know, get a better response on these videos, then basically what I'm doing is with every video that I make that is a high quality video in terms of how viewers perceive it, then if it does well on YouTube, then I'm creating a little army of salespeople that are going out there on my behalf, spreading awareness about my business, right? So because of that, I would definitely, you know, learn how to make video content, especially if you have an Etsy store that people respond to. So let's talk about what that means. So first off, let's talk about your thumbnails. So if you look up here, you can see in your thumbnails, you can see how the text that's all around here, how difficult that is to read even at a large size. And I understand that you're trying to make them like flattering and, you know, all of that. But when it comes to YouTube, big, bold, and easy to read is what you want to go for. Okay. So when it comes to thumbnails, one, you want to focus the most attention on the imagery, because that's going to be the thing that, especially in your case, that the people that are being recommended this content, that's going to be the thing that stands out to them. Right now, you have the imagery in here, but it's relatively small. And here's where this hurts you, is if you look on my screen right now, right? Me, if this were to just show up, or even you, right? If this were to show up on YouTube's homepage at this size, you being into jewelry, would you be able to notice at a glance, not I'm staring at it and I'm like trying to figure out what's going on, but at a glance, would you be able to say, oh, this definitely has something to do with jewelry, right? So a couple things. First is if you look at the text here and how easy this one is to read on the how I package and ship orders, and then you look at the text over here, right here, we'll just A/B these real quick. So if you look at these two, right, you can see how easy the text is to read here compared to the text over here. Okay. So make sure that every thumbnail that you make on YouTube, and I would even go and update all of these. Hey, Roberto Blake in the house. What's up, dude? I would go and update all of these. And hey, really quick, just a shout out to my dude. So in case you guys aren't familiar with this, Roberto Blake, he is the author of this book right here. You can get this on Amazon. Awesome book. It teaches you basically how to use YouTube to grow your influence and make money. So you definitely need to check this out. You can find it on Amazon. But basically, back to your channel here. So yeah, all of your text should stand out. And also, and I'm guessing what you're doing, and this happens to, all of us, is, you're making this on your computer or on your phone. You got like the full screen version, and you're sitting there and you're working it all out. And you're like, okay, this looks okay, right? And with that, you like know what this says, all of those things, but you're not really, approaching it like, okay, if somebody were to just glance at this, would it be crystal clear, what's going on here? So step one would be to make clear text for your thumbnails. Step two would be to focus more on the imagery itself. So like these color panels and things like that, I wouldn't do that. I would just focus on taking good pictures of your products and then showcasing those on here. And then if you wanted to put text on there, you could. So one thing that I would experiment with in your case specifically, because YouTube has the thumbnail testing tool now, is I would experiment with like, okay, let me have a thumbnail like this to where I make it, similar to this. And then let me do one where I just do a nice clear image of the jewelry itself and see how people respond to that in comparison. And then let YouTube's, system let you know which one people respond to best. With the number of views that you're getting right now, it's going to be a little bit challenging there, because it's going to take you a nice amount of videos in order to start getting some like real insights. But I would definitely start doing that, right away. Same thing here, right? Like you have a bigger emphasis on the jewelry on this particular one. And this actually looks like it's your highest performing video. To where it's just focused on the jewelry, one solid image. And then you have like a little bit of text down here at the bottom, which could still stand out and be easier to read. But yeah, like I would go through with all of these and just take really good pictures. Like that's a great picture of that pennant right there. So I would take, that and just focus the image on the pennant itself without any of this other stuff. Because the whole move that you're trying to make right now is you're trying to make it to where if somebody's on YouTube's homepage and they're looking around like, hey, I've just logged in on my TV, or I logged in on my phone, or I logged in on my computer, and I'm looking for something to watch. And YouTube's like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff we think you might be interested in. What you want is, as somebody sitting there looking at everything, if they're into jewelry, bam, you want your attention to go directly to that. I'm going to look at something here really quick, and I'm just going to pick this thumbnail just in case we get it. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to put in Etsy DIY jewelry. Just kind of see what pops up here. Yeah. So if we look at some of these, right? Like, and these have the panels on them too, right? Like some of these do, but like, I just want to show you the difference in terms of like readability and all of that. You know what? I need to be able to do this from, I'm not sure if I'll actually, oh yeah, that was easy. Perfect. Right. So if you look at these two, right, super high quality image, the panel there grabs attention, super easy to read text. And they also made it clear that, Etsy is involved in some way, which I don't know if you're doing DIY stuff or if you're just, sharing your process to sell it. But if you are doing DIY, then, having that type of thing in there as well might be helpful to you. if you are, kind of helping people with Etsy in any way, but I don't think that's what you do though. But the idea is I would definitely work on your thumbnails when it comes to your content. Other things is this is a 45-second video for long form content in 2025. If this was like a short animation and it was on some type of like really general broad topic, then in that case, that short of a video might do awesome. However, when it comes to, this type of content, I would definitely make, longer videos. So yeah, so a couple places for you to start is one, thumbnails themselves. You can watch videos on typography. You can watch videos on design. Because you make jewelry, I'm guessing you're already familiar with color theory and all that stuff. But watch those. And the reason I want you to watch those and some photography videos too, so you can make sure that your photography is like top notch, because you're going to be competing with some like really good shots, right? Like if we were to just put in like jewelry, right? Let's just see what kind of pops up here under videos. Yeah, right. Like this is the type of photography you're competing with, right? So because of that, yeah, I would be looking into some photography, which really I think that picture would be okay. But I would make the picture the whole thing. But basically, testing your thumbnails and the photography. Other things to be mindful of is here you have how to make. How I made, which is still along the same lines, but make it about the viewer, not you. So, how to make copper spiral earrings, how to pack your videos or your jewelry for travel, how I made, or just how to make, which that looks more like a time lapse. And then here you don't say what it is in terms of what they're actually offered, but you just say the actual thing itself. But the thing I'm wanting to bring to your attention real quick is like, my order packaging process. So it's important here thinking about, and this might be perfect for the people that you're trying to reach, but just confirm that, when it comes to what you're doing here, are you teaching people the whole business, or are you teaching people how to do the thing, right? And if it's not teaching people the whole business, then I wouldn't worry about this part. And then I would just focus more on teaching people how to do the thing in terms of making the jewelry. So anyway, hope that helps. So for the next one that we're going to do, this one's going to be a best practice check. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 3 of these and really quick. Super chat. Fontan Architecture, thanks for the super chat. It says, I stopped posting for a bit and started up again. It's been slow, getting momentum, but still going, doing shorts and longer content too. Yeah, like one thing, like when you stop posting videos for a while, one thing that is important to know is all it takes is one good video and you're right back on the map, right? In terms of there's enough people interacting with that video to where, it kind of starts the machine, again, because then there's, oh, hey, these people enjoyed this. Now let's show them some of this other content on the channel, and you publish another video and they show it to them and all that. So it just takes one, good video to get you back on there. So just focus really hard on that video. But when it comes to, taking breaks, if you do take breaks, unless you have a lot of activity continuing to happen on your channel because it's search-based or something, then in that case, or you just have a lot of really good videos out there, then in that case, you have a lot of people that have fallen out of like your recent viewer history. And because of that, it can be, a little bit challenging to get in front of them. But again, all it takes is one good video. Lindair Jewelry, welcome to the Niminati. Welcome to the channel membership. When you get a chance, go to, let me find the thing here. Go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members only Facebook group if you're interested in that. Just fill out the questions on the way there, and I'm going to open it up right now just so I remember to do it after the stream is complete today. But basically, if you can do that, then we can get you in there after the stream is finished today. Okay, so next up on the list, we have, let me go back to the thing here. Okay, so this one is going to be jewelry. Boom. So if you are just joining the stream, all you have to do, if you've never been here for these before, all you have to do is put that word into the chat right now. And then this tool that I'm using is going to collect them. And then after I get, some in there, then we'll hit the draw button and then and it'll randomly pick somebody. So what we're doing right now is we're doing 3 best practice checks. So how this goes down is we have 3 people in a row that we play the sudden death game with. How that works is I open up the YouTube channel, I have a checklist, and then I go and I'm like, okay, are you doing these best practice things or not? And then if you are, then you advance to the next question, and then eventually the next section until you complete it all. And if not, then in that case, you get flagged, but you know something that you need to change. So it gives you an action step in terms of like, okay, I didn't pass this part, so now I need to, go and fix that. Here we go. Boom. J-Coin. Here we go. All right, so this is the first one. So let me find J-Coin right here. We're going to open this up. Here's how this goes down, J-Coin, for the best practices. So basically, I have this thing here that I come down and I open up. Boom. And then we're going to put it on game mode. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, we're going to hit start review right here. Boom. Okay, first, are you using custom channel art? Yes, you are. Second, is your custom channel art, is it optimized for all 3 devices? So here we go. We've got 1. Oops, let me close my thing here real quick. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So you are all clear there on that. And then playlist added to channel page. Yes, you have playlist added to your channel page. So we got you there. Recent uploads or custom recent uploads at the top. The 4 U's got you hooked up there. You got some playlist up here. So, I mean, that's okay. And then you have your videos here. So you're kind of in this gray area because of this playlist, but I'm going to let you pass on this one. And the reason I'm going to let you pass on that one is because it is sometimes a good play to have the playlist up here so people can be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for, and they go into that. So that's why I'm leaving that and letting you pass that section, because that next thing, it does make sense. And you're updating these recently also, which also was kind of like, okay, let him pass on this one because it still shows the channel's active and all that. Okay, videos tab. Let's head over to the videos tab. Hey, Road to Reality, thanks for the hydration message. I appreciate it. All right. Next up, videos tab. Uploaded in the last 30 days. Absolutely. 2 days ago. Making niche content. Looks like you are doing something crypto related. Make sure you're staying on point here. It looks like you are. Consistent uploads. Absolutely. Now we're going to go down to packaging. You're using custom thumbnails. Yes. Thumb and title do not repeat text. Okay, crash, what's wrong? Is your crypto scam, your killer, secure investment, name power. Okay, yeah, you're using these separately. Okay, so you are clear there. Main subject is in focus. So here, the actual name of that is, for this one, I guess Pi Network, maybe that's their logo. So in that case, yeah, I guess that one might be okay. And same with that one. Secure your investment. So on this one, secure your investment. I mean, you are leaning on text there. It's kind of a messy thumbnail, but you are leaning on text there. So I am going to, I'm just going to give you a yes on this particular one. But while we're here on thumbnails though, I do want to let you know that like right now, your thumbnails are really busy. One thing that I would definitely try to do is I would try to simplify these a little bit because there's so much going on. Like the thing when it comes to thumbnails is the whole goal is just to help people identify the content about something that they might care about. It's not about, it's not about like, I need to fill all the space that's in here. It's more about like, how can I make it easy for people to identify that this is something that they might care about? So in your case specifically, focusing like really hard on logos and, that kind of thing would definitely be something to consider. Another thing, you're doing it correctly in terms of having your channel name back here at the end of your titles, but you don't have to do that. Like that doesn't matter. It doesn't really help you. Let's see here. But Yeah, the main subject is obvious. And then on the distracting elements. So even though you don't necessarily have distracting elements, the thumbnails are pretty messy. This one does have distracting stuff all over it. Let's see here, the future of real asset tokenization. Here you've got the space guy in here and then all this other stuff on here. Yeah, so here on the distracting elements, I am going to get you here just because some of these are so busy that like you don't really know where to focus, right? Because some of them are so busy. So like what I would do, man, is I would go and I would go into all of these thumbnails and I would simplify everything it is that you're doing. Because you don't need all these extra elements in here. And I think that they could be working against you. Like a way to do this would be instead of having like game changer on there or even like the multi-sub down here at the bottom, because I think your title, how Ethereum's upgrade will affect Pi Network and you, like I think that's a solid title. How memes are reshaping Bitcoin and Picoin. That's a nice, solid, informative title. So because of that, I think that you are good in that regard in terms of your titles. But your thumbnails, like I definitely think that you need clarity in your thumbnails and just a strong focus. And here's what I mean by that is like, if we look at this thumbnail right here, right? Hey, you are doing A/B testing though. I think that's good. So here, since this is big, right? Then you can kind of see everything easily. But once this gets scaled down, you have a problem to where this area, like down here, this up here, all of this like chipboard stuff you have going in the background, all of that is pulling away from the thing that is the most important, which I'm going to guess is this Pi logo right here and possibly this diamond thing that's behind it. So because of that, like I would make the same thumbnail. And since you are doing A/B testing with YouTube already, one thing that I would do is I would remove game changer. I'd remove multi-sub, simplify the background a little bit, and then just make whatever coin it is that you're talking about, just make that as big as possible. Because the whole game there is that you are simply trying to make it to where if somebody, lands on YouTube's homepage on their phone, on their TV, or on a computer, to where the second they land, bam, there's that logo about that thing that they care about, right? That coin that they care about, because you're going to be getting recommended next to a bunch of other, crypto channels as well. So because of that, you have to be able to stand out there. So because of that, I'm going to put the no and give you the terminated on the clutter and distracting thumbnails there. Okay, so we're going to do another one. And the next one, and hey, looks like I got a super chat. Jay Coin, thanks for the super chat. Oops, wrong one. Thanks for super chat. I appreciate it. So next up, the word here, we're just going to do crypto. I mean, why not? Because that's from a crypto channel, right? So that's going to be our word for right now. And hey, as a quick reminder, just in case you are just joining us and you have not heard the word yet, I put it on an app recently. It's called New Creator. You can find it in the App Store right now. Currently, only iPhone and iPad are available, and it syncs up between them. I'm the only creator-focused app like this that actually has an iPad dedicated version as well as the phone version. But you can check that out at newcreator.app to just see different features and stuff that it has available. So definitely make sure that you check that out. Okay, we're at 34 entries. Okay, we're up to 41. And if you are just joining us, all you got to do is put this word into the chat. Just put it in there one time, and then it's gonna count it, and it's gonna add you to the list in terms of channels to look at. And this is another sudden death round, which means we go through the checklist, make sure you're all buttoned up, and then from there, then we go from there. Okay, we hit 50. Here we go.
Oh, let's get this YouTube money.
There we go. Boom, Creator Reality. Like the channel name. Jesse St. Louis, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. So Creator Reality, I'll probably be able to find you here, but just in case, if you could just go ahead and say something in the chat, and by the time the delay and all that stuff, by the time you put it in there, then hopefully I will have found you. Creator Reality, gotcha. Okay, so go to channel. All right, editing tutorials, content creator gear. Boom, love it. All right. Okay. So let's see here. So we're going to get this thing started here. First, yes, you're using custom channel art. Second, is your channel art optimized for all three surfaces? Absolutely, it is. You are looking absolutely fantastic. So we're going to hit this clear, optimized value proposition, editing tutorials, content creator gear. Okay, so for the couple of channels that that I mentioned earlier today so far, in terms of making it clear what it is that you offer to your viewers, this is an example of exactly what you do. It's simple, right? It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. He's like, hey, I do editing tutorials and I cover content creator gear. So if you land on this channel after watching any of his videos, you're like, hey, I wonder what else he's got. And you click on it, bam, you know exactly what's on offer here, right? Without having to think about it, without having to explore or anything like that. So this is a great example of that in practice. So yes, you do have that front and center. Playlist added to channel page, stuff you came here for, and videos. Okay, so yes, you do. And you also have the playlist thing here that you're doing also. So I'm gonna let you pass on this, just because you're also, you know, feeding people into these very specific things. But one thing that I would try to do is try to, instead of, you know, the stuff that you came here for, try to make this just a little bit more clear. Like, you know, find the content that's best for you, or, you know, something like that. I mean, this is fine. That text change isn't going to make any major difference, but just kind of like a little fine, fine tuning type of thing, but really it's not going to matter. So you can just keep it how it is. But one thing that I would do though, is I would, and I know that you have this playlist up here and I let you pass on that. But I would still move these videos up here, because with some of these, you know, it looks like, you know, if somebody did come and explore the channel, that they might be able to, you know, more easily come into here, but it is also smart to drive them into playlists too. So yeah, your call. That's why I let you pass on it. Just trying to get you more people into, you know, these videos here, you know, just to kind of help train YouTube. Okay. So let's go to the videos tab. Okay, on the videos tab, uploaded in the last 30 days. Oh yeah, you're crushing that. Niche content, totally niche content, and consistent uploads, 100%. Okay, so while we're here, we are going to go into custom thumbnails, and then while we're looking at the custom thumbnails, I actually just want to kind of look here and see what it is that you're doing. Okay, so helpful audio AI. These two audio AI audio features in DaVinci Resolve will save you time. DaVinci Resolve drag and drop not working. Try this. Love that. DaVinci Resolve planar tracker can do this ? Okay, so when it comes to titles, people responded to this. So like you're doing okay. But when it comes to titles, other things that you can do is, you know, like DaVinci Resolve planar tracker can do this ? Like even like in, you know, like I can't believe that the tracker can do this, makes it just a little bit more, you know, like just gives it a little bit more umph. This is fine, it worked, but just, you know, trying to give your titles just a little bit more umph when you are, you know, showing things like that, to where this kind of paints the picture like you didn't believe it, right? Like, wow, I didn't know it could do this, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from your packaging. But just trying to make it just really hit home. So if this gets recommended on somebody's channel page that has something to do with DaVinci Resolve and they don't know what that is yet, to where they're like, oh, what is this? I got to check this out, right? Let's see here. These two audio features in DaVinci Resolve will save you time. That's good. It's value-based there on them. Yeah, another thing you could do here as well is you could actually lose the helpful audio, and you could even lose the, I mean, if you want to be clear, then what you're doing is right. But if you want to create some type of curiosity gap that gets people clicking, just, you know, these two features in DaVinci Resolve will save you time. Right? Because it's still true, and it's still related to what the video is about. You're just not making it crystal clear that it's about audio, right? So you could definitely handle that, or do that. I mean, Daniel Batal in the house. What's going on, dude? He said he heard DaVinci Resolve and just came running. He just pops up out of nowhere. He's like, DaVinci Resolve. Did somebody say DaVinci Resolve? I must have said it 3 times while I was going through this. I'm not sure. So I hope you're doing great, dude. But so next up, let's open this back up again. Also really quick is when you are putting text on thumbnails, this is another one where if you look at here, let's just do it this way so I can show you real quick. So if you look at the text, right, that's on this one, and then we look at the text that's on this one. See how much easier this one is to read, right? Plus it looks like from some of your other thumbnails that you're using this as part of like your brand look. And this kind of breaks outside of that too. So even though you can read this and the font that you chose is good, because it is outlined and it has that the background of the words matches the background of the background that it's on, it does make it a little bit more difficult to read. So if you are going to use text, just try to make it pop so it does grab attention. Just try to make sure it doesn't grab too much attention. Hey, Larcia, just make sure that it doesn't grab too much attention from the like DaVinci Resolve logo, because that's going to be the thing that brings them in. So thumbnail and title, do not repeat text. So here, helpful audio, master speed changes made easy, kind of almost. Drag and drop not working. This doesn't work. Perfect. Best way to move DaVinci Resolve to a new computer. Add reusable backgrounds. Okay, that's a little bit different. Fusions expressions. Okay, yeah, you're good there. Main subject is obvious. Yeah, I think so. Like you have interface and you have the DaVinci Resolve logo. So that DaVinci Resolve logo carries a lot of weight in terms of making it clear that your video has something to do with DaVinci Resolve. So the DaVinci Resolve users will at least stop for a second and pay attention there. So I think you're good there. No distracting elements. I think this is all good. I think that's good. I like these arrows, by the way. I like the style of those arrows. The green one and the red one you're using. Let's see here, distracting elements. Yeah, I think you're good. You're pretty focused on what you're doing. Easy to read text, 100% except for this one. So I'm going to let you pass on that one. Easy to read titles. Yeah, clear, nice and easy to read. Episode numbers and channel names at the back. You're not using any of that, so you clear that one. And then video watch page. Let's go over here. And we're just going to pick on your most recent video. Okay, small paragraph for description. Got it. I'm thinking he might actually get through the checklist here, is what it's looking like. So let's see here. So links to other videos in the video description. So let me close this. Let me come up here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see. So you have the chapters inside of this video itself, but I'm just double checking here before I do this here. Okay, so you get terminated right there on that one. So it's best practice. Oops. It's best practice to have links to other videos down in your video description. And the reason for that is because people do go and look in video descriptions. And for those people, you want to make it easy for them to find more content that they enjoy, right? So what you do there is you are basically using that to kind of loop people back in to other videos that you have on the channel. So for example, like let's say you have a getting started playlist for DaVinci Resolve, putting that into the video description somewhere. You can put it up here near the top if you wanted to, or you could put it all the way down at the bottom of your call. But basically just one playlist that says, hey, getting started with DaVinci Resolve, check out these videos for beginners here, right? Or if it's like a special effects playlist, then same exact thing. Here's my beginner playlist, here's my special effects playlist, and just list out a few so that people that are interested in that can just go down and find an easy path to those without having to click out, go to your channel page, go to your playlist page or your channel page, either one, and then hunt down those particular playlists. If they happen to be in your video description because you're already listing your gear and stuff down here, then they can already see that. So then that way they're like, oh yeah, the beginner's playlist, perfect, bam. And then you get to amplify the activity that's happening from that one viewer when you do that. Another thing is you have here the gear I use to film this nonsense. Love the sense of humor. But you say that they are Amazon affiliate links. And let me just check here. Okay. So Amazon has a very clear disclosure that you need to put down here. They have very specific language. And I don't see it here at a glance. Yeah, so they want more than just Amazon affiliate links. What Amazon wants specifically, this works for FTC, right? You're nailing that. But Amazon, if you don't want to lose your Amazon account, they have very specific language, and you can put that down here, all the way down here at the bottom when it comes to the Amazon, because you've got this one up here. So that language is something along the lines of, I'm an Amazon associate, and if you click on any of the links, I will earn a commission. Or I'm an Amazon partner, one of the two, but I'll earn a commission. Here it is. Thanks, Home Rapid Repair says, as an Amazon associate, I earn commissions on qualified sales. Boom. And then that way, you're being compliant with Amazon and you're being compliant with the FTC. I know multiple people that have lost their Amazon accounts because of this, which is why I always look for it, because that's something that can, like you build up your channel, everything's going great. You got 100,000 subscribers on the channel. You're getting bunches of views. You're like picking up steam. You got tons of momentum. Everything's going great. The Amazon is like a cash register. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm making all this Amazon money. And then you wake up one day and they're like, oh, yeah, you broke our rules, so your Amazon account's cooked, right? So make sure that you do get that affiliate commission in there, because it does matter when it comes to just making sure that you're being compliant with Amazon. Yeah, dig it. All right. So next up, and this is our last one here for the sudden death, and this one is going to be, it's going to make it easy. I'm just going to do it sudden. Yeah, and Daniel mentioned here, he says, Amazon is very active about making sure their associates do not comply. Yeah, like one of the things when it comes to that is, with all these, affiliate things, if you don't follow their rules, it's in their best interest. Like if you have a bunch of videos on your channel, it's in their best interest to give you problems about your account, because if they give you problems about your account, then if they end up terminating your account, a lot of people won't even go and like change links out or anything like that. So then Amazon will just get that without having to give you a cut. I mean, they make so much money, it doesn't really matter, but they're incentivized to be on top of that. Okay, so here we go. We're at 43, giving people just a little bit more time. 10, 9, 8. I need a countdown. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Okay, this one is also a best practices check. Open air outdoors. Okay, here we go. Open air outdoors. I see you right there. So it's going to be super easy for me to get yours and pull yours up. Let me make it nice and big here. Boom. Okay. So for the open air outdoors, camping, fishing, exploring, canoeing, hunting, bushcrafting, and shop projects, open air outdoors. Nice. Okay, so let's get this party started. Let me reset this. So really quick, so I'm still working on the graphics for this. I did it last week when we finished this stream, the channel review stream, where I sent graphics out. I put them in my community feed and I put them out on X, but I'm still working on it just a little bit. So I'm not doing that this stream, but starting next week when we do channel reviews, I'm going to start putting these reports out as well. I'll start sharing them out to Twitter or X, so that anybody that wants it, after can go and get it. And then you'll see the different checklist items, all of that stuff as well. So here we go. Using custom channel art. Absolutely. Channel art optimized for 3 sizes. Let's just check real quick. Yep. Looks good and looks good and looks good. Fantastic. The reason I check for that is because that it gives me insight into like what people are doing with their channels in terms of like, are people like, okay, thinking about like, hey, if this shows up on a TV, what's it going to look like, right? So I do that for my own good, just so I can be like, okay, like, are they taking this seriously or not? So like when that part's there, then it kind of gives me a relief, like, okay, all right, let's, this is going to be a good one. Okay, so channel art optimized for 3 sizes. Yes, clear value proposition. Sharing my outdoor adventures. Yep, and you also say specifically what it is that you share up here. Which I see an issue here, but we're going to talk about that once we get to it. Playlist added to channel page. Yep, got that. And your most recent videos are up at the top. So we are going to advance you there. Next, we have the videos tab. And in the videos tab, we have uploaded in the last 30 days, absolutely, normal or niche content. Yep, you are doing outdoor stuff nice and clearly here. Okay, that's great. And consistent uploads. Yep, absolutely. Looks like it. Next, we have custom thumbnails. You are thumbs and titles don't repeat. Air Pump Master Nano, Air Pump Review, camping on a remote island. Ooh, that looks interesting. Nature hike, spring, the type of woods, exploring the spring forest, remote lake. Okay, yeah, so you're clear there as well. Yeah, the reason I look for this one, just so you know, in case this is your first time hanging out here, the reason I look for this one specifically is because the thumbnail and title work together as a team. So when you are using the title and the thumbnail and you're just putting the same exact text in there, you kind of get to miss an opportunity, right? To where you could make it more impactful if they were different. But yeah, did that one, main subject, obvious. Yeah, it's clear that it does not, or that it is outdoor content. So one thing that I like to do when it comes to channels in terms of being like, hey, how clear is it? What's going on here? Is I come up here and then I turn this on and then I get to look at it without any titles, right? And then when I'm looking at it without any titles, I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks pretty clear. Like this one doesn't look very outdoorsy at a glance, but like everything else that I'm looking at here looks like it has something to do with outdoors, right? So love that part. Like you've made it crystal clear what it is that you do. The thing that I was going to mention earlier is you have that you're doing fishing, exploring, canoeing, hunting, bushcrafting, and shop projects. The shop projects were going to be my concern, but it looks like you're not doing much of that, at least not, right now. So in the last year, it doesn't look like you've done much shop projects. So because of that, no worries there. Thumbnail title, don't repeat text. Yeah, I think we got that one covered already. Main subject, absolutely obvious. No distracting elements. Yeah, I think you're good on the distracting elements too. Like these are pretty focused thumbnails. Easy to read text. Yep, you're not using any fancy fonts. Like you have some here, like review, for example, could be a little bit better. But I think the air pump, does the trick, and this kind of reinforces it down here. But I think that could be a little bit clearer, but I'm not going to flag you for it. Same thing with here, snowshoe hair. Like if you look at this text on this thumbnail right here, and you look at this text here, you see how just easy it is to read, right? You just kind of flow right over it. Where this here, there's like a little bit of extra effort that you put into it, but I'm not really that concerned about it because this carries, this is pulling a lot of the weight there. But I would go in and update this though, and make it just a little bit easier to read. Also, from a branding perspective, because you have like a style that you're kind of going with here. You might want to just pick a font and just roll with that font too. Like just pick something nice and easy to read, like probably like this one or maybe this one, and just have that as like, okay, this is the one, instead of changing it with all your different thumbnails. That would give you like a nice branded look across there. Daniel Batal coming in, dropping the love for my app. Thanks, my dude. Appreciate it. Thanks for the mention there. And just to make that a little bit more easy to read, the app that he is talking about is called New Creator. You can find it in the App Store, or you can go to newcreator.app and try it out for yourself. Thanks for the reminder there, Daniel. Man, it's funny. Like I built all these graphics and stuff for it, but I haven't really used them that much yet. But right, getting all ready. Like this one here shows the thumbnail inspector, right? So you can kind of see, that in the process of, getting the feedback on the thumbnails and just kind of seeing, how it works. So I can kind of demonstrate it while also talking about it, all of that stuff as well. So yeah, that kind of stuff is cool. I got a bunch of those. Could you hear me while that video was playing, by the way, for the thumbnail inspector? Just let me know really quick. I'm just curious. Okay. So next up, we've got easy to read text. Yep. We do have easy to read text. And then here we have easy to read titles. Yep. Your titles are super easy to read. And then here, episode numbers, you're not using that I could see. So yeah, you're clear there. Going to the next one. Video watch page. All right, here we go. Getting into the fun stuff now for this. Okay, you could hear me while it was playing. Awesome, thank you. Love how you're starting the video with this, based on what you had in the thumbnail too. Okay, small paragraph for the description. It's a powerful pump, perfect for your camping needs. Inflate the ball. Okay, yep, you cover this one. So just as a heads up, with this, you can just kind of fill it out, to where it kind of goes, across the screen and everything. It looks like there's like a premature line break there. I don't know if you're uploading this stuff on your phone or not, or if you're doing this part of it on your phone. But you can do it to where it just kind of, fills out just a little bit there. And what YouTube recommends is they recommend like a short paragraph, like a at least a sentence, which you have, or two. But this is fine. Like you've got something down there. So I'm gonna let you pass on that one. and then links to other videos in the description. So you have your merch here to your channel. Okay, yep, looks like we might get you on the right, like I'm hunting. I'm coming for you. Let's see here. Yeah, so no on platform for linking back into your channel. So you have the thing here about your merch store, which is good because that's monetization. Here, this is also, looks like monetization in some way also. Hey, thanks for the shout out with Creator Mix, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, so in your case, definitely get some links into other content here, especially with what it is that you're doing. So for example, if you have a playlist on like camping reviews, then in that case, you can add those playlists. Let's see here. You can add those playlists, down in your video description. Like, hey, here's more reviews. Here are my best camping videos. Here are my paddling videos. You don't have to add like every playlist that you have, but just pick, the ones that's current and that would matter to the viewer that's watching that particular video, and then add those. Other things really quick, just a quick heads up, just because I'm looking at it when I came here for this example and I can't like see it, not say anything. So here you have like camping, paddling, everything outdoors, fishing, and bushcraft. So one thing that can be helpful for getting people to click into playlists more is being a little bit more specific. Like for example, here, instead of camping, have it like camping, tips or camping experiences or something like that. Just so it's a little bit more clear what it is when it comes to camping, instead of it just looking like just a general camping playlist. So for this one, because the links to other videos, boom. Yeah, and you mentioned that you have it at the end of your videos. That's a good move too, right? So the whole idea when it comes to your channel page, just to kind of point this out, because the end screens is right down here on the list too. So you have this, which is super smart to be sending people into, the additional things. And you're specifically sending them into gear reviews, which is even better, right? Because then it's like, oh, it's not just a camping thing. It's like, these are gear reviews and I'm sending them into there. That's fantastic. But one thing, in addition to having it in your end screens, also having those links in your description. And if you're doing this for income, then just leave it here. But one thing that you can see here with this pinned comment is I had to click it in order to get additional information here. So you might want to just kind of, write that out fully, kind of going this way. Like if you'd like one for yourself, follow the link here, and then underneath it, discount code, open, 15, enter 15 at checkout, that sort of thing. So it's all visible before somebody has to hit read more. But for videos where you don't have this sort of thing, where you're, selling something, sending people, into a playlist is also a good idea here for anybody that's watching this right now that just wants to, like when one viewer enters your channel, it's important to think about how can I make it as easy as possible for that viewer to go and find more of the content on my channel that they're already enjoying, right? And the ways that you do that is your end screens, your cards, your in your pinned comments, and then you say on the video watch page, and then you have your description links on your video watch page. And then when you go to your channel page, that's where you add like the playlists that are relevant, and you can have the, the stacked playlist. And then you can also have, the playlists that are running across the channel page as well. Let's see here. Okay. So now we're going to pull one up and we're going to do just like a regular one where we're just kind of looking at it and giving some tips, unless it's breaking an obvious best practice. Unless it's breaking an obvious best practice, then we're going to take them down. Okay. So, here we are going to do camping is going to be the, our next one here. So camping is the word that we're going for. So just put in that word. If this is your first time here, all you got to do is put in that word. It's completely free, completely 100% free to put that in there. And there we go. All you have to do is put that word, and then it's collecting them. And then I'm going to pick one, and then we're gonna pull them up. Okay, so here we go. We're just gonna let it ride. Let it roll. Here we go. Right now. All right. Is this like a copywriting channel? Is that what this is? Hold on. Here we go. Right now. See what you got going on. Okay, daily live stream motivation, writers right now, create right now. Okay, let me close this. All right, let's see what you're doing. Do you want to become a better writer? Do you want to be a better writer? I'm Kaufman, writer. Okay, one thing I want to check real quick. Your experience, you want to Kaufman as a writing coach. Okay, this is what I was checking for because of what you do. So here you are a writing coach, and one of the ways that you're monetizing here is selling your services. The reason I wanted to look at that is because you're missing an opportunity here. So you can see right here, you have, do you want to become a better writer for your actual channel trailer, and then you want to become a better writer. So you're kind of double stamping that one. You have I'm Kaufman, a writer on a mission to correct creative writers everywhere. And then you have the BA in creative writing. Instead of having this, I would reposition how things are in your video description so that the call to action, the information and call to action and link to hire you is also right here because they see it up here. But there isn't like a clear call to action up here. It's just like, hey, here's one of my links. Down here, it's like, hey, if you're having writing trouble or whatever it was that I saw down in the video description, put that right here. Let me make this bigger. Put that right here. And then that way it's front and center for you. And then you don't have to worry about, I mean, well, you're not, worrying about it, but you know what I mean? To where if they, they have the option to click on your services here. And then as they scroll down the page, there's another thing here with a clear call to action in terms of exactly what it is that you offer. Let's see here, streaming, a lot of content. Okay, so are you not uploading videos anymore? 2 months ago, okay. See, I would definitely hop on the horse, and I know how hard it can be sometimes to, stay consistent. Like I've been doing the app stuff, plus doing like trying to get my system together for like daily vertical content on other platforms and all that stuff. So I get it. But I would definitely, start putting out content on a more regular basis. Cause here you had like a 3-month gap and then and then this one's like 2 months ago, a 3-month gap between this one and this one. And then a 3-month gap between this one. So if you really want to leverage YouTube to drive leads and sales to your business to basically bring you customers, then I would definitely be doing a lot more video content. And the reason for that is when it comes to live streams can be okay in the moment, but when it comes to the replay, in a lot of cases, live streams just don't have the same legs that video content does. Because what you can do when it comes to publishing video content is you can go and you can look for all of the different things that the people who are, writers, all the problems that they have. You can go and you can hop up here into YouTube autocomplete and you can start searching for different things around writing a book, writing tips, writing playlist. That you wouldn't make a video about that, but you would definitely make sure you have a writing playlist though. Prompts, probably not so much. Writing a cover letter, writing a story, writing a novel, writing advice. But basically just going through and how to write, video scripts for YouTube, how to write on screen while recording, how to write a video script, how to write a book cover letter, write a blog, write a song, whatever DBQ is, how to write in cursive. You get the idea. But basically, you just put in as many variations as you can possibly find there. And then by doing that, it's going to also help you be able to be the solution when people are trying to solve problems around writing. And by doing that, it brings attention to you, right? So like, for example, like if you look at my channel, like I get emails constantly of people wanting to work with me as a coach. And I don't have to do any type of lead gen. I don't have to do anything like that. All I have to do is like when I am taking on customers is I will, just go and look and I'll be like, okay, who sent me an email recently? And then I'll go and check out their stuff and, all that stuff. So if you can get YouTube working for you, then in that case, like you're going to give yourself the best opportunity there to like really blow up your business. And you don't have to have a lot of views to do it. You just have to be in the right place at the right time, meaning when people are looking for information around writing, They find you through either search or YouTube's recommendation system. And then from there, once they come to your channel, then they're like, oh, wow, this is an entire channel that's going to help me get better at this thing I'm trying to do. And then because of that, you're going to have all the free advice that you're giving away for free and keep doing that. But then you're going to have some people that are going to be like, hey, I want kind of a shortcut here. I just want your expertise. So, how much does it cost to hop on a call, or, whatever the thing is. So I would definitely, crank up this YouTube machine for the sake of your business, since you are offering services. In terms of here, the complete beginner's guide to becoming an author tuber. Yeah, that's fine. The story so far, 365 days of writing streams. Okay. Yeah. So this right here, right? So when it comes to YouTube, one of the things that's really important to think about is the context that people have, right? So here you have the story so far, 366 days of consecutive writing streams. So if you had 8 million subscribers, people would care about this. But right now, 8 million subscribers and tons of regular viewers and all that stuff, then people would care about this. But right now, this is there's no real context. And one of the best practices when it comes to YouTube is making sure that every video that somebody, can interact with on your channel, that it makes sense for somebody that doesn't know anything about you and they've never seen you before. And the better you get at doing that when you publish videos, the more you're increasing your opportunity to capture new viewers and involve new people with what it is that you're doing, which in your case specifically for business, it's even more important. And then you say, I've played really heavily into building a daily live writing community. Yeah, that's cool. But I'm just saying, on the video content, that's just an easy path to generating leads for what it is that you're doing. And on your live streams, that community, it's cool, but the way to blow that community up is through video content as one of the pieces of content that you put out on a regular basis. And then also doing live streaming to support them. So on my channel, I put out videos on a somewhat regular basis. I'm in the process of fine tuning that particular part to be a little bit more consistent now that my app is published and all that, so I can focus again. But basically, when it comes to publishing video content, my video content adds value to people. It helps people learn how to do YouTube, and it also introduces them to tools related to YouTube to help make the job easier, right? And then in addition to that, I do my live streams as a service, kind of like your community of daily writers. I do this channel review stream because I'm making these a staple now as well. And I do my Niman live stream on Saturday where I do a Q&A for 3 hours with my brother D. And both of those are more of a community service type of thing that we do to be able to answer the nuanced questions and things like that maybe I haven't answered in a video ever, or maybe it's some new problem somebody's having, or maybe the video that I made, maybe it didn't directly apply, and they're like, hey, how does that apply to me? And then I'm able to answer that right there. So with what it is that you're doing with having the community around writing, I think that's great. And I think you should continue to do that. Like me, for my live streams, I've been doing that for a really long time. And now people know, hey, if I'm, wanting to hop in and learn something about YouTube and hang out with the community, I know that Nick's going to be live almost every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, right? So if you do something similar, hey, Ricky, what's going on, man? If you do something similar, and then you also are putting out video content that is bringing more people into your channel, so that when you publish a video, when you go live, you also have those people that have interacted with those videos that might also get recommended your live stream, where you can also pull them in as well. And it's just a faster way to grow your community if you're interested in that, while at the same time demonstrating your expertise by teaching people how to do all these things and solving their problems, and using the videos for lead gen, which can last a really long time. Like, for example, on my channel, I have videos that I published when I first started my channel that I still get occasional email signups from. And that was 10 years ago. So when it comes to the power of video content on YouTube, there's nothing that beats it. And because of that, I strongly recommend that you, for the sake of the business and the community, that you lean really hard into that. And you say here, that makes sense. Great advice. Been watching you since hit 75K. I think, oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I love seeing that. But another thing too is when you are doing these daily live streams, I would also, you are. Okay. I was going to say I would do some consistent branding here. And another thing too is here you have like daily live stream motivation and then writers. So having writers on there is good. Having the right now on there is good as well. Creating writing sprints, music and writers chat. Yeah, this is okay. But one thing that can also be helpful, especially for if you find like high search volume, terms, is like if people are like, how to write fiction, then in that case, how to write fiction, fantasy and romance flash fiction competition, right? Or something like that. And then by doing that over here, then it gives you the opportunity to kind of have a little bit more prominence while it's live, just based on how YouTube weights live streams, because they understand the importance of like the live event, right? Another thing is here you have the book imagery, which is good. Here you have the fantasy stuff here that doesn't have the book imagery in it. I would definitely experiment with your thumbnails there and just see if you find a difference between the two. These seem to be getting more views on these two compared to anything else that you've done. Let's see here. Yeah, the fantasy stuff seems to be the out of the last few days. This fantasy stuff seems to be the thing. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like across the board. Yeah, other things too, right? Is so you have the same thumbnail and you're getting these results with this thumbnail, and then you have this one where it's a little bit different. You have creative writing for beginners. You're in here, you got free story ratings, and then you have like a nice strong value proposition down here at the bottom. And that one did better, right? So I would also experiment, like when you find something that works like this from a structure standpoint, in terms of like this thumbnail, this title, try to, do something similar as well. Cause you're doing that here. But you went back to this other one that people don't seem to be responding to as much. It could be the topic, but it looks like these are pretty similar in topic. So because of that, I would, experiment with this thumbnail and see if it, gets a better, oh, you got it up here. Yeah, up here too. Look at that, 314 views on this one. So both of the times here recently that you've used that thumbnail, let's see if that's a normal thing. 318 views on this one. 238 here. Yeah. So yeah, I would use that as long as it's in alignment with, with what it is that you're doing. I would definitely use that more because people seem to be responding to that. And another thing too is with the content. Like, if that's a different type of stream, because I saw that message, you say I have about 15 to 20 different types of streams currently at 550 consecutive days, trying not to break the chain. So one thing that you should do, in my opinion, do whatever you want, with your channel. But for the sake of like, hey, trying to bring more attention to this, one thing that I would do is I would go through inside of your YouTube analytics, and I can already see some of it right here, but inside of your YouTube analytics in advanced mode, you have a grouping feature. If you go into that grouping feature, I have a short on my YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of shorts, so you'll be able to find it quickly, but I have a short on my YouTube channel of where exactly to go for this. But basically say, okay, here are my writing sprint things with this, thumbnail in it, or this offering. And then here are the ones with this offering, and here are the ones with this offering, and start comparing them against each other in terms of which ones have generated more subscribers with about the same amount of videos, which ones typically drive more viewership, which ones drive more engagement, that kind of stuff. And then use that information to start fine tuning the direction that you're going. So for example, if viewers love this and they love this, but they don't like this as much, then in terms of, the channel health and trying to give viewers what it is that they want, which is kind of like a staple of YouTube, doing less of this and more of these things that people respond well to is usually the way to go when it comes to YouTube. So I just experiment with that sort of thing. I would definitely start making, videos and make sure that everything is clear that it has to do with writing, because here you have writing motivation to combat the problems, but it's not crystal clear here in terms of writing at a small size. So like you holding up this thing where you're writing, something like that would be a little bit more clear. But just whatever you do, this also doesn't say anything about it being anything related to writing. So having like a book or like a notepad or something, just any type of, anything that symbolically says writing, I would start, getting some of that in your thumbnails. All right. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I hope that you had a great stream. Hope you learned something here. If we didn't get your channel up, I do just want to encourage you to say, hey, all this stuff that he's saying to these other channels, like, am I doing those things? Right. And message that I want to share with you too is, if some of the stuff that we talked about in the stream today, or just YouTube in general, seems hard, just embrace the learning curve, right? Like, it's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. We have to always do the same, but you got to focus on, building the skills around doing it and getting a clear understanding of what it is that your viewers want from you. And then from there, consistently doing the thing over a period of time while being intentional about it, while learning from, the content that you're publishing and how people are responding to it. But it's all part of the learning curve. So, be easy on yourself, be patient with the process, and hang in there. You got this. I'm going to be streaming with D on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So hopefully we'll see you there. And as a quick reminder, I did put out my app recently. So you can check that out in the App Store right here. You can scan that, or you can just go to the App Store and look for New Creator, and it's going to pop up. Helps you with all kinds of things. Helps you test your thumbnails, and gives you tips on how to make your thumbnails better. Content calendar, so you can stay organized. It even has like home screen widgets, so you can keep your content calendar like right here, right on your home screen. And you can also add that to the side panel as well, like when you slide all the way over. There are all kinds of other helpful things, managing your video ideas and organizing your video ideas, all that stuff. But anyway, check it out, newcreator.app to learn more, or just go straight to the App Store and look for it. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time.
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning and engage, just take a second to smash the whole page.